Hey, good afternoon, boys and girls. Top of the morning. It is St. Patrick's Day. Hope you're having a lucky day. I'm just letting you showing you first that I've got a bed of coals burning, since we're going to be making a corned beef and cabbage dinner. To celebrate St. Paddy's Day. And while it's cooking, I plan on watching The Quiet Man. I love that movie, and it's St. Patrick's Day tradition in my family, and so I continue with it. So I'm getting the coals really nice and hot. I'm mostly doing kindling right now because I want the bigger wood for when I start cooking. And so I'll be back and show you what I'm doing. Okie dokie, folks. I am using a cast iron. They say it's a Dutch oven, but I thought Dutch ovens had a flat bottom. Oh well. And I've lost the top. I don't know whether I have it in a storage unit or whether it's gone totally, but I found this one that works perfectly well. It fits nicely. I'm going to be using this excuse for aluminum foil over the grate on the fire so that the bottom of the pot does not get black. Otherwise, I was going to coat it with some dishwashing detergent. They say, well, I've used it on other pots and pans, and if you wipe it down before you put it on the fire, the black soot comes right off easy. I was kind of weary about doing that, especially with cast iron, but I'm going to try it this way first. And we've got some butter, we've got some pepper and salt. We have the corned beef, and over here we have some cabbage and carrots and turnip and onions and potatoes. And so what I usually do is I load up the potatoes into the bucket first, into the pan, because they always take longest to cook. I just put them right into the pan. I did coat the inside of the pan with a little coconut oil first. And I've peeled the potatoes and washed them nicely. I don't have running water. I thought they were going to have water here at this campground, and they don't. And so what I do is I wash them with, I have a spray bottle with vinegar and water mixture. And so I wash them down with that and then rinse them with some water. Okay, and then throw in the carrots, because they cook next to longest, I think. So I'm going to put the carrots like on one side, because I think, oops, I am not doing this very gracefully, am I? And some people peel the turnip. I peeled off the end, but I like the purple on it. Actually, growing up, we never used turnips. We always had rutabagas, and we always had to peel them because of the waxy finish on them. And so I am cooking up enough vegetables so that tomorrow morning I'm going to take and chop this all up that's left over. And what I do is I chop up all these vegetables that are already cooked, and then I chop in a can of sliced beets and chop them up, and I have red flannel hash for breakfast. And so I'm not real fond of cabbage, and so I went into the store and I asked the clerk if I could take a few leaves and buy them. He said, sure, no problem. They've all been washed and everything. And I got 3 leaves. Just enough to add the flavor and to say I had cabbage on St. Paddy's Day. I think it cost me 7 cents, maybe, at the most. And I throw some onions in on top of all of that. Oh, it's going to be so good. You're not going to believe how good this is going to be. Oops, there's a lone carrot. Let me dump the rest of the onions in there. And then I'm going to season it with a little bit of pepper and some salt. I don't measure it, I just dump it. My family cooks, and so it's like we don't learn to measure too much. Oops, here's a piece of onion fell to the side. Okay, I don't usually put the herb packet on top of the corned beef. My family never did, but I figured, it'd be a nice try. And so I cut this into 2 pieces because it won't take as long to cook. So I put that one there, and I'll take the other one and put it here. And I got to wipe off my hands. Baby wipes are my best friend, let me tell you. And I don't even have a baby. They're camper's best friend too. You can wash up everything. And then I'm going to pour, this is probably kind of gross, but pour the juice in, the blood. And then hello, little spider. You got to get off from there. And I'm going to just pour, let's see if I can do this gracefully. And I'd use a full bottle. Pour a little bit of water in the pan here. Sort of rinse it out, And then I'm going to pour that in. Don't usually put much, if any, water in, because usually the beef and stuff makes enough juices so that you could even make a gravy half the time. But I'm adding a little water because I'm not sure cooking it over the fire. And so that's about it. I then don't look around, it's too much of a mess. I was really lucky. There was campers on this site when I got here, and they had a fire going. And they said, yeah, you can have the site, when we leave, which is going to be like in a few minutes, and it was. And they had a lot of coals left, so I scooped up some, and I put it into the fire pit, barbecue thing. Oh, and if you look way over there behind the tree is a little girl. She's hiding. Actually, she's just keeping cool. It's not that hot out. I want to say it's in the 50s, and there's a little bit of a breeze. So, let's see, I'm putting the cover on here. It's heavy. I don't know if I can do this with one hand or not. Taking the aluminum foil. Oh, I gotta watch the camera more. I see I fall off what I'm trying to do. I don't focus on it, I should. And so I'm going to take this with me, as well as the kettle, which is very heavy. And I'm going to lay this onto the fire. Oops. And hopefully the wind won't blow it away. And while I'm here, I'm going to add a little bit more wood because I want to keep the flames going now. I got to watch the camera. I'm sorry. I'm getting better at this, I think. Let's see. Okay. And so that should cook for, I'm going to check it in an hour, but it'll probably take about 2 hours. In the meantime, I'm going to go watch The Quiet Man. It's an old movie with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. And, the old man, he goes, dun, 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 dun. Sorry about crying. And my grandmother used to have the biggest crush on him. I guess we'll check back in an hour or so. If you get a chance to watch The Quiet Man, it is a good Irish movie. I didn't, oopsie, oops. Sorry about that. I forgot to add the butter. So, I guess I'll put this over here in my chair. And I've got a couple of big cubes of butter. I'm just going to dump them in there. It adds a little, you know what butter does. It adds a little more flavor, I guess. Maybe makes it a little fattier. Oh, by the way, since we're right here, I want you to see my rocking chair. Now, this chair folds up with me and goes everywhere. It is a freestyle rocker. And if you check, it's got, I guess they call them hydraulics for the rocking part. And it is so nice. I have had this almost 2.5 years now. When I was living in a log cabin, I went smoking it, and so I had it out on the front porch, and I always sat on it to have my cigarette. And I'd have a lot of cigarettes in a day. I've quit smoking a month ago today, actually. I got this at Tractor Warehouse. Was it Tractor Warehouse? It was kind of expensive. I think it was like $76. But I mean, it's lasted and lasted. It's even got a little cup holder thing there that does not hold beverages very well. As you can see, it's quite crooked. And they have smaller ones, bigger ones, shorter ones, taller ones. Now, different colors. A friend of mine got one before I did, and it was green, and it was a little bit taller, I think, or shorter. Anyhow, they have them so that you can put them on the sand in the beach so you can soak your feet. They're low enough just to kick back in. So if you, and I mean, I've used this. It folds up really, really nice and easy. I'm going to try showing you. I don't know if I can do this in the sun the way it is. Okay, you got this little handle here, and you put your foot on the base. You grab the handle, pull up, and voila. That's as folded as it gets. And I just take it along with me. I make sure I have room for it in my car. I have it between my cooking box. I have a box with all my cooking stuff and my boxes of food. And so it is just really nice. It's very heavy duty. I was a lot heavier than I am now when I used it, and so it's very sturdy. If you want a sturdy rocking chair that just rides really smooth, that is the rocking chair, let me tell you. It's been about 2 hours, and I checked it a few minutes ago, and I even took a taste test, and it is done. There's an awful lot of moisture. I don't, because of the sun you can't see, but there is quite a bit of moisture, and I'm sorry that I added water to it. But if I had brought some flour or cornstarch, I could have made a gravy. And so I'm going to take this off the fire, and yeah, this is fun, isn't it? Set it down here. This is nice cement benches and stuff here. Yes, I have a tablecloth, and I want you to see that the aluminum foil is black, and all of that would be on top of my pan, or underneath my pan, on the bottom of my pan, and it's really hard to scrub off. So I will use my lousy cheap aluminum foil for good use now. Hold on. It does look sort of better in the shade, doesn't it? The cabbage is done, the turnip is done nicely. The onions, the potatoes are falling apart. The meat looks pretty good, except for all this liquid. But that'll thicken up some, I'm sure. going to need a fork, and a knife, and because of the water, I think it needs a little salt. But this is my St. Patrick's Day traditional dinner. And I hope you have a lucky